In a surprising turn of events, experts are cautioning that a conflict with China, once thought inconceivable, is now unavoidable. President Xi Jinping is displaying an unparalleled assertiveness towards the West. The United States and its allies are also getting ready. A race against time has commenced. China is getting ready for an extraordinary once-in-a-millennium war for dominance. A few months ago, a significant military alliance was formed, including the US, Australia, and the UK, with the aim of countering Chinese aggression in the Pacific. The initial step for this coalition, known as AUKUS, is to supply Australia with a fleet of nuclear-powered submarines and provide Taiwan with missile defense. It seems that America and its allies are preparing for a battle previously considered improbable. The notion that China would never initiate an attack or invasion is now in question. Xi Jinping appears to be on a collision course, implementing structures such as introducing propaganda lessons in primary schools. He's willing to go to great lengths to assert control, even beyond his own borders. If this nightmarish scenario were to become a reality, it would likely begin with an invasion of Taiwan, a small nation off China's coast long regarded as a contentious issue. Seizing Taiwan would grant China a significant military advantage in the Pacific, putting Japan, South Korea, the Philippines, and Australia in a precarious position. The long-standing issue of Taiwan's political status has been a source of contention between China and Western allies. This video presents a comprehensive analysis and delves deeply into the scenario of a Chinese invasion of Taiwan, exploring the likely course of events and its profound consequences for China and its Western allies. The historical backdrop of the unresolved civil war in China has left Taiwan in a precarious position. The democratic government of China escaped to Taiwan, and since the Chinese Civil War from 1927 to 1950, Taiwan has functioned as a self-governing entity with its own democratic government. While mainland China emerged as the People's Republic of China under communist rule and considers Taiwan its rebellious province. In recent years, Beijing has exhibited heightened political and military assertiveness. President Xi Jinping's administration has adopted a more confrontational stance, asserting China's territorial claims and warning against separatist movements in Taiwan. Military exercises, large-scale drills, and provocative rhetoric have become common in the Taiwan Strait, further escalating tensions. Western allies, including Australia and the UK, would face a critical decision regarding their support for Taiwan. Taking a stance in favor of Taiwan could lead to economic and diplomatic consequences, particularly considering China's status as a major conflict in the Taiwan Strait would disrupt global supply chains, particularly in the tech industry, with Taiwan being a critical hub for semiconductor production. This could lead to market instability and potentially trigger an economic recession. The conflict's escalation could lead to international intervention and the involvement of proxy actors, potentially transforming the regional dispute into a global conflagration. China's primary objectives in a potential invasion of Taiwan would include the reclamation of what it perceives as a renegade province, suppression of any potential separatist movements, and gaining control over Taiwan's strategic location in the Western Pacific, as well as its valuable resources. China's rapidly modernized naval forces and amphibious capabilities would play a crucial role in this scenario. The PLA would likely initiate a large-scale amphibious assault, targeting key coastal areas and Taiwan to establish a foothold. Simultaneously, China would impose a naval blockade to cut off Taiwan's supplies and resources, significantly isolating the island. The PLA's air superiority would be leveraged to establish control over the skies, limiting Taiwan's ability to mount a sustained defense. Taiwan's military strategy would likely center around guerrilla warfare, utilizing the island's rugged terrain to their advantage. They would seek to delay the PLA's advance and mount a resilient defense while appealing for international support through diplomatic channels. A Chinese invasion of Taiwan would likely escalate tensions with neighboring countries such as Japan, Korea, and the Philippines, potentially leading to a broader regional conflict. Under the Taiwan Relations Act, the United States has a legal obligation to provide defensive arms and support to Taiwan. A Chinese invasion of Taiwan could escalate tensions between the U.S. and China, potentially leading to direct U.S. military involvement if the U.S. decides to defend Taiwan but not attack inside China. In case the U.S. decides to defend Taiwan from a Chinese attack, the U.S. would have to swiftly mobilize a substantial portion of its military assets, including naval, air, and ground forces, toward the Taiwan Strait region. Carrier strike groups, amphibious assault ships, fighter jets, and ground troops would be among the primary components of this deployment. The U.S. Navy, with its carrier strike groups, would establish a formidable presence in the waters surrounding Taiwan. These carriers would serve as mobile air bases and play a crucial role in air superiority operations. Submarines would conduct covert operations, seeking to disrupt Chinese naval movements and gather critical intelligence. The U.S. Air Force, along with the Navy's aircraft, would establish air superiority over the Taiwan Strait. This would involve suppressing enemy air defenses, conducting strikes against key targets, and providing air cover for ground forces. Missile defense systems, including Aegis-equipped destroyers and land-based interceptors, would be deployed to protect against incoming missiles, particularly from China's ballistic missile arsenal.